faithful, what's going on? It is Monday, November 25th. We have a primetime showdown tonight. Lamar Jackson versus Herbert, the Gerbert gunslinger. And then we have a few, I believe 9 NBA games today to discuss. So we got a lot going on. That's why this video came out late. I was on a call with the man, the myth, the legend, Wanna, who won that $6,000 a few days ago. And I'm going to get him on this tube for an interview as soon as we figure out how to set it up and make it not look so poverty. But you will be hearing from the GOAT probably this week, okay? It is a holiday week, so content may be slowing down, but I will try to get these videos out for you guys and keep doing those live streams in the Discord. So without further ado, what I need you to do, if you wouldn't mind, I hate asking, it's cringe, but smash that little like button. It sends the video out into all the YouTube algorithm, whatever it is. I'm not a technological guy, but that's what it is. That's what it does. And then in addition to that, if you're not already subscribed, which over 60% of people that watch these videos aren't subscribed, what are you doing? Smash the subscribe button. It's a free square. Hit it up. And then lastly, you could leave your boy a comment and let me know what you think of today's tips, tricks, and picks. You like that? I'm rhyming and I'm scheming and jiving and jipping around. Let's get started. Full disclosure, I've been experiencing some choice paralysis today. That's right, choice paralysis, because there's so many juicy plays that I could go over. Ask one, I was sitting there, we were trying to figure it out. One of the plays that comes to mind is Franz Wagner, the German wagon. We've been on this train, baby. I think he's German. I could be wrong. He could be from one of the other Eastern European or Western European places. But the fact of the matter is this, he's a wagon. 30, 37, 14, 32, 31. He's playing the Charlotte Hornets. It ain't going to get any better than that. What if you want to ride that train, you can ride it. I'm not going into a deep analytical dive on Franz Wagner. I don't need to sell you on it. You already know. Wagon is as wagon does. You have tickets to that train, continue to ride it. If not, sit this one out, because I promise you, he is due regression at some point. Hopefully it's not tonight, because I got exposure to that gent. Now let's check out the market data here and see what we got. You can see, as always, the fantasy scores are going to be juiced to high, heaven, under. So we're going to skip through that. You can see Trae Young is being juiced on the over. If you did want to go there, God bless you. I mean, really, with Trae Young? We were just talking about Franz Wagner. 6 assists. Seems to be the consensus at everywhere else. It's 6.5, so I guess there could be value there. I'm not too interested in that, though, but maybe. Dyson Daniels, RA. Oh, yeah, that's always in play. You can see Jalen Brunson, less, 41.5 fantasy score. I guarantee you, comment guy, if I take less on Brunson's fantasy score, he's dropping a 50 piece. He always does it. It's like clockwork. I never get him right, and I will continue to sit Barrett out today. Now, speaking of RJ Barrett, more 4.5 assists. Minus 134 right here on Pinnacle. Minus 175 over here on MGM. That's cinema. That's crazy. Now, how does that relate to us? Well, let's take a look. Let's go look at the historical data, shall we? Now, Scooty Barnes, Scooty Barnes. He's back in the mix, and I've been riding that train too. He was at 38.5 fantasy score earlier, and I like Scotty Barnes today. I like his PRA, his fantasy score before the bump. They just do too much. He just does too much. Blocks, steals, points. He had a bad shooting night last night, and he's still covered. He gets rebounds, assists. I ain't afraid of the matchup, but the matchup for one, RJ Barrett, 7th assist allowed, Detroit, believe it or not. Head-to-heads, when he just played, he dropped 7. Now, what I care about is the potential assists. Let's take a gander. 13 potential assists last night versus Cleveland, and that's with Scooty Barnes on the court. I believe Scooty being there helps him. 7-7, 17 versus Boston, 12 versus Detroit. Remember, he only needs 5. It's going to be sweaty. Whenever you take assist stats, they always are. That's just how it is. We're going to need big minutes. I'm talking 35 to 36. But why I like this too is because what I personally did, okay, check this out. Now, these wouldn't be anchor plays. They're dart plays, meaning you don't want your night to depend on RJ Barrett to get 4.5 dimes. You just don't. But what I liked was the synergy of this right here. I like taking Jakob Poeltl's points and running it back with RJ Barrett, 4.5 assists. Barrett dishes to Poeltl. Bang! It's synergy. I love that. It was happening the other day with LaMelo and Miller. Now, if we go look at Jakob Poeltl, you can see 15.5 points here. He's minus 126. He's 16.5 everywhere else. It's pretty much, he's obviously I don't know. Maybe he's going to go up to 16. I wouldn't say obviously. Maybe he doesn't. Jakob's another one of those guys I never get right. But my model had him at like 16.8. The market data is in our favor. And in addition to that, I like the synergy with RJ Barrett. So where I have Barrett's assist, I will put Jakob Poeltl's points. And that's that. I won't really combine the two. But check this matchup out. 23rd in points allowed to centers. And Jakob Poeltl, as long as he doesn't get in foul trouble and he can keep his hands to himself, if he can play 35, 36 minutes like he did, look at this, November 15th, he just played these guys 35 minutes, close game. And what did he do, chat? He got it done. The man respected coin with a 25-piece McNugget. 25-piece McNugget. Not 20, but 25. 10 points over what he is today. So I don't put too much stock into what they did or what happened or the matchups because the line bakes all that stuff into it, right? Whenever these lines are being made, they're all the matchup, the historical data, the recency bias, all that stuff is calculated in when they put it out there. But I do think these are two from that game that you could flirt with. And then if you wanted something on the other side, let me just go up there and throw in Scotty Barnes. Well, they bumped Scotty Barnes to 32. I got him at 31.5. Like I said with Scooty, he's in the mix too, but his lines are too high, so you could pivot to either one of these gents. Do not let your night depend on these players. This isn't the optimal game to do that. There's 3 games that we have that are 3-point spreads and high totals I'm going to talk about, but these are your dart pools, your bucket. You got your NBA bucket here and your NFL bucket there. You got darts and anchors. We're going to talk about it all. So I hope you got your popcorn, your Starbies, strawberry lemonade, refresher, Red Bull, whatever have you, because this video ain't for the faint of heart. It's going to take like 25 minutes, I'm afraid, okay? We talked about the Wagner man. We talked about those 2 guys that I was just talking about. And now, if you want to run it back with someone from the other side, you could go with Tobias Harris. You could go with Jaden Ivey, more 5 assists. Remember, I gave this to you guys a couple days ago with his assist, and it was at 4. Cunningham's out of the mix. He is going to be a sweat 100%. It's most likely that he's going to land on 5. In fact, I think if you were to take his Gabby, since they're only giving you 0.5 loss, that would be the optimal play at 4.5 because I do believe he's going to land on 5. Okay, that's usually what he gets, but you're going to need him to stay out of foul trouble. I say this because I think it's a good run back if you were to take those other guys from Toronto, whether it's Scooty, Jakob, Barrett, whatever have you. Okay, now some of you may say, Cup, I'm just going to take the 5. Well, then you would need him to get 6 and you're only getting an extra 0.5. Look, any random 2-man is 2.5x. That's your decision, your call, do what you want. But like yesterday, those 0.5s can be the difference between winning and losing, which is right here with Travis Kelce, okay? I told you guys on that YouTube, I loved Kelce's receiving yards. I loved his receptions. But his receptions was at 6, and they had bumped his receiving yards, so I wanted the Gabi because, like I said, I think he lands on 6. So what did PrizePicks do? Instead of paying me 10x for a 4-man power, they paid me 9x. I was totally fine with it because I figured he lands on 6, and that's the difference between 9x or 5x if I take it at 6 and he pushes. This was posted in the Discord. We went over all these. I made this on the live stream. I loved these 4. We made like 3 community slips yesterday in the live stream for NFL. Unfortunately, they didn't get there. The NFL yesterday, the popular play tab pretty much smashed. And whenever that happens, I'm not going to be in the mix because I don't take the popular plays. Okay, I just don't. Got a lot right, got a bunch of stuff wrong, but because of this particular lineup that I made, I still squeaked out a profit. And that's just the key, right? The key is to make sure that when you are right, you can maximize your value. I should have nuked this with how confident I was in it. Terry McLaurin got there in that game, very underperformed. It is what it is, but you know, that happens. Cortland Sutton overperformed. I loved him. I loved Bo Nix, like I told you on the YouTube. Bo Nix soared. I could have added Bo Nix to this and got a full 10x. I also could have added the longest field goal props that I told you guys. Tua Tagovailoa's 1.5 pass TDs. Puka Nakua's receiving yards. Cooper Kupp's fantasy score. I mean, there's so many different things we could have added. Lamb's receiving yards or his receptions. I loved his Gabi at 5.5. It is what it is, guys. So when I show you that, I want you to see why I would take like the 4.5 here and risk giving up 0.5x equity, because sometimes when they land on 5, it's better than what it would revert down to, which would be, you know, a 5x push. So we talked about those guys. Now there's 3 premier games tonight that you need to see for NBA. Trying to get through this video fast, but it is what it is. Okay, 6.5 point spread. I don't think I'm gonna have anything there. The Orlando Magic Hornets game, you would take Franz and LaMelo or Brandon Miller. Those would be your only 3 targets. Raptors Pistons, I just covered it. Clippers Celtics, There is some stuff here that I like. Okay, they've since been bumped, but I will say Jaylen Brown has been a wagon. Even when they're favored to win by a lot, they usually don't. So you could go right back to Jaylen Brown. Okay, the Hawks Mavs. This game, it was a 3-point spread. Now it's 4.5-point spread. This game should feed on paper. 4.5-point spread, 234.5. Skipping the Memphis game, especially with John Morant's return. If anything, I would probably take Jaren Jackson Jr. again, but I have to wait and see. And then the Knicks Nuggets game, another game that should feed. 231. minus 4-point total. And then the Nets Warriors, there's a few things there, but not really interested. And then the Oklahoma Thunder and the Kings. Kings are plus 3.5 at home versus the Thunder, which is crazy, but it also has a good point total. Okay, so I would focus on the Thunder game, the Knicks game, and then the Dallas Mavericks game. I would try to find your anchors there if you can, and then everything else would be darts. That's for NBA. And the optimal way would be if you can find 2 NBA and 2 NFL and go with that for your 4-piece or whatever makes sense to you guys. Now, when you're combing through that Dallas Mavericks game and you're trying to decide what you're going to do, there's 2 guys that stand out to me. Obviously, Kyrie Irving and Daniel Gafford. Is he up here? Did they remove him? If they pulled his fantasy score, that's cinema. They did. So that's absolutely cinema. Does that mean did Lively get ruled out? But now Kyrie and I guess Grimes are questionable, but I'm going to be honest with you. Because of that matchup, if he does play, he's in play, period. Okay, but I don't really know if I'm going to take him. I just can't really get there today, guys. I want Daniel Gafford, but as you can see, they removed him. But I have to talk about these guys because you can see the matchup is so great. I would honestly think if Kyrie sits, Klay Thompson would have to go yard. He'd have to go yard. And you can see Klay Thompson's being juiced under, though. It's crazy how he's being juiced under. But this Klay Thompson and Trae Young 3-point combo, hey, that could be crispy. Or maybe just Klay's points at 17. 16.5 is minus 150. If Kyrie sits, then everything's going to flip on him. For now, we'll just put this game on ice. We'll cover it more in the live stream for those of you that are in the cord. I'm not going to mess with it now. We don't have all the news. If Kyrie sits, everything that I tell you is going to be dead. So let's talk about Boston. Nothing really going there that I want to talk about here. Nothing really there. Then we have the Knicks versus the Nuggets. And this game, I promise you, could feed or it could break hearts. Just like the Lakers and Nuggets game the other night. It should have fed. It turned into a blowout. Joker's the best player in the league. You're never going to convince me otherwise. He's always in play. I don't care what the market data says. I don't care what the other YouTube guy says. Captain Chris says, I don't care. 59.5 fantasies go for Nikola Jokic is in the mix. Now, let's go to my fantasy point per minute tool. But first, you can see right here, he's 59.7, 60, 60. So we're still getting a slight edge, 1%, albeit I'll take it. All right, so this is where I put the usage rate, the fantasy point per minute, and their last 3 fantasy score averages and their average minutes. And this is how I help decide what I'm doing with the fantasy scores, okay? It's live in the Discord under Captain's Daily News. You have to be using this if you're taking fantasy scores. I don't care. Now let's go to Jokic. He's averaging in 12 games, 38 minutes, 29% usage rate. The ball's in his hands all the time, and nope, we don't need to pause. And his average fantasy score is 71. 71. His last 3, 68, 73, 92 piece. Are you kidding me? Is that right? That can't be right. 92? No, I don't buy it. That can't be right. And then 1.89. So keep that on the back burner. 1.89 fantasy score per minute, okay? Keep that in your mind. Yeah, he had 86. He had 86 on that last one, 92. It must be calculating, that's right, because I have it calculating in the double-double and triple-double bonuses. But it's okay. 86 is still a big number. So 59.5, 1.89. So let's go to the calculator. Let's take 1.89 and multiply it times, his average was 38. We'll say he plays 36 minutes tonight. We'll only give him 36. And you get 68. 68 fantasy score on average if he's playing 36 minutes. Now, close spread, high point total. For that reason alone, I'm targeting the Joker. I don't care about this matchup, Joker. People are going to say, Cap, it's not a good matchup for centers. My brothers and sisters in Christ, y'all said the same thing about Puka and Cup versus the Eagles, and what happened? They soared. It's matchup proof. Guys are matchup proof. Told you guys, Stafford's going to throw the ball. And the same thing here. Jokic is going to Jokic. That's just what he does. Okay? Look at his last 10. He's gone over in 9 of his last 10. The man is doing things that other men can't do because he's him. And I know if you go look, rebounds allowed, they're ranked 1. So people are going to want to take under his rebounds. Fine. Assist allowed 16, points allowed 11. I took his fantasy score. I took his points. I took his PRA, I took it all. And I'm willing to go down with the ship because Joker cooks. Now, you can't even look at the historical data because the Knicks are a totally different team now. It means nothing to me. The only thing I care about is if he gets his minutes. And if Joker gets 37 minutes tonight, on average, he's going over to Fantasy Sco. Or if you just wanted to take his points, you could. I wouldn't begrudge you a bit. The other person on that team is Michael Porter Jr., who's actually been getting it done. I mean, all these Denver Nuggets have been getting it done. But Porter Jr., my favorite line for him has been bumped. Obviously, of course, if you're watching this, he was at 17.5. I told you to get it in. He's now at 18. But I think his Gabi down here at 15.5 could be good. He's just been soaring over points. 24, 17, 24. I'm glad he's having a good season because last season he was literally a meme. So again, you could go with any of those other guys, but the priority for me is Jokic. Now on the other side, you have options. You got Josh Hart's fantasy at 36. It was 35. They moved it up. Okay. You could take that. You could take Towns, who I personally took at 25.5. They moved him to 26. My model hates it, has him soaring under. The fact that there's a Gabi here at 19.5 kind of scares me as well. It's letting me know that his range of outcomes is going to be wide. If his floor goblin is 19.5 and his regular line is 26, they're letting you know wide range of outcomes. So don't be surprised if Towns only gets like 20 to 21, or even if he only gets like 17. It could happen. We're going to need the game to stay close. And we're going to need Towns to cook. But again, he's another one of those guys that just has been scoring and taking ownership of that team. So if I had to run it back with one person from there, it's going to be Towns. His RA is also in play. Okay, look, rebounds allowed, 17th assist allowed versus centers. They're 24th in rebounds allowed, but they're 9th in assist allowed. So I think Towns' RA is actually pretty good, especially if you could get an alternate line. If you look at his points, it's not decent matchup on paper, 18th, middle of the road. And then the historical data, again, different team, it doesn't even matter because they haven't played this season with him on the Knicks. And Karl Anthony Towns is doing way more on the Knicks than he did on the Wolves. I don't care, man. So you have to decide what you're going to do there. And then as far as Josh Hart is concerned, the reason why I wanted to bring him up, let's go back to the tool. Josh Hart right here, baby. 16 games played, 37 minutes on average, 0.99 fantasy point per minute. If he plays 37 minutes, we're crispy, okay? 43, 49, 26. Remember, these are going to be a little bit bigger because they're DraftKings numbers, but 14 average usage rate, not that good either. He gets a lot of ancillary stats, which I do like. Let's go price him out on the market data. I don't think he's going to be in our favor. Well, it is slightly 36. Everything is PRA at 29 could be the move. Anything there with Josh Hart, he's a fine run back too if you didn't want to take the price increases on Towns. I don't mind it one bit, okay? His 29, obviously this has push equity. Everybody's on his points because he's been a wagon for points, understandably so. But I think any of those are fine, okay? Now, there's actually a lot more that I like with the NBA, but this video, I can't have this video go 40 minutes, not when it's already 3:05 and I still got to edit. I did want to talk about those two real quick. I would think that Draymond Green could be due a bounce back spot if that game does get close, but if he does get in foul trouble, Trace Jackson Davis. Real quick with the Oklahoma Thunder. Guys, Jalen Williams, I was talking to one and I don't know what to do here. 60, 60, 45, 41, 64. His range of outcomes now is absurd. And I'm a Thunder fan. He's either getting 30 at a floor or 60 at a ceiling, and the line being 43 in a decent matchup. On the road, fresh. Kings are on a back-to-back. I kind of want to take it, but at the same time, he's like due regression, so I don't. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Jalen Williams. And also, too, my model didn't like him going over. In addition to that, I'm pretty sure everything's juiced under, which you can see here. It's 52% to go under, but his blocks and steals are kind of over with the market data. Remember, for plus EV, we want 55%, 54.5% or better, but we're not using this tool for that. We're using this to just get the market data to see what the consensus is, to make sure that we're getting value and we're not in potential trouble for lines moving up or down on us, okay? So Jalen Williams, I would lean more here. It's just a gut call, but you guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think here. Let me go look at this real quick to help you out. Okay, Jalen Williams, 16 games played, average 32 minutes, 26% usage rate, which is high with Alexander there. 44 fantasy points is his average, 1.37. He had 59, 59, 45. Okay, so 1.37 is the magic number, folks. 1.37, let's go take a look. 1.37. Let's say he plays 33 big minutes. Bang, he gets 45. And that's only if he plays 33 minutes. Now, if he plays less than that, it's probably chalked, but he could even go over. These are just averages. So I lean more. You let me know what you think. I got to swap over to the NFL. It's time. Okay, so let's talk about the NFL. I could have sat here. I could sit and talk about this stuff for hours, which is why I have a live stream an hour before lock every single day, well, except Saturdays, Monday through Friday, and on Sundays. We have 150 to 200 people in the mix. We make community lineups together. We sweat it out. I give you live call outs. I build my own lineups for you guys. I post it for you guys to tail, fade, sweat, whatever. We have a good time. It's always a good time on Captain Crush's live streams, man. Let me tell you, you would be surprised. It's worth the price of admission alone for the entertainment value, because if you think that I don't cook people in the live stream that get out of line, you can think again, because I got to cook them all. And if you'd like to be a part of the live stream tonight, you go to CaptainCrush.net, you go to the gold package. This will get you in. The gold package right here, it's on the left. You click subscribe, $24.99 for the first month. And you know it's Black Friday season coming up, Thanksgiving. Captain Credit, what do you think? I wasn't going to hook you guys up, you degens. For first-time users, it's promo code TURKEY, all lowercase. You get your first month for $14.99. After that, it's normal price. You come in, you're going to get all access to the live streams, my lineups, that four-man nuke that hit. You'll get that. You get my projection sheets, which are worth their weight in gold. For NFL, I do each and every game. They look just like this. I color code it, break it down for you. And the same thing for NBA. You'll also get to use this handy dandy fantasy point per minute tool. You'll get my lineups, my slips, my community member, role member slips, everything, and you will get to be a part of a Discord family that absolutely crushes. I'm telling you right now, we coke and joke, we have a good time around here. It's all about that. It's worth its weight. I give it my 100%. Use promo code TURKEY if you're on the fence. Now you got no excuses. I told you I would bring a promo code back down the line, and now I did. It's expiring Saturday right after Black Friday, but I'm giving you a week to get it done. It's for new members only. For current members, I have a discount coming for you guys as well. That will be posted in the Dub Club probably Wednesday. So wait on that. I'm taking care of you guys too. We're doing the Lord's work for Black Friday. Now let's talk about the NFL before I bore you guys into death, okay? Justin Herbert. Look at this right out of the gate. Captain Crush has been preaching this all day long, baby. Justin Herbert, 1.5 passing TDs. I've been telling you guys this since 9 a.m. this morning. All right, actually, since yesterday, the day before. Justin Herbert, he's going to gun sling. He's slinging and dinging and throwing dimes, darts, rips, whatever you real users want to call it. He's doing it all. And I don't think it's a bad play. I like it. Ravens are 32 in receiving yards allowed and passing yards allowed to opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers. They're coming off of a big win. They're feeling good. They're in prime time. We just saw him cook in prime time. And then on the other side, you get Lamar Jackson, 1.5 pass TDs. Guys, you know what I love about this most? Let Captain Crush talk to you. Let me be realistic with you right now. Realistically, any one of these receivers could go off. The lad McConkey, if you will. Palmer, Johnston, Quentin Johnston, any of these guys, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, all those guys are in the mix. They're all in play. It's a crispy matchup. Now, even the running backs, Derrick Henry and J.K. Dobbins. But you know what I like, comment guy? I'll tell you what I like. I like the fact that I can take both quarterbacks. Okay, Lamar, who got shut down last week, he only threw 1 passing touchdown. I like that I can take him here and I can get access to everything he does, including the Herbert or the Justice Hills, the Batemans, the Flowers, the Mark Andrew tutties, the likely tutties. I get it all. And then in addition to that, Herbert's 1.5 pass TDs, which they finally pulled it. I told you they were going to pull it, and now they only got his 2.5 pass TDs demon. But guess what? You can take it over on Chalkboard or Sleeper or Underdog. I know it's there. And here we are on Underdog, and you can see they gobbified Justin Herbert, but it is there. It's also on Parlay Play, so you can take that 2-piece over there. Now, that gives you exposure to both good quarterbacks. I'm not going to go into the analytics side of it. You're just going to have to trust me. It's a good matchup for Herbert. It's It's a good matchup for Lamar. Middle of the road, Lamar's Lamar. He's matchup proof. If you're stuck on PrizePicks, you could go back and take 18.5 fantasy score for Herbert. You could even take his completions. Okay, either one of those, his completions, his fantasy score. He does get rushing yards. Heck, he could even rush one in. I mean, technically he could. His passing yard, Gabi at 224. All of these three are good. My favorite is the 1.5 pass TDs. They don't have it on PrizePicks anymore, so you got to go on underdog or parlay play. But I still like it. We got it in early. If you're in the cord, you got it in. I told you guys to get it in. I hope you did. And I like running it back with Lamar for reasons I just said. Now, I want to tell you something right now. Dobbins at 47.5 rush yards is very, very low. I could 100% see him popping off a 40-yard run and just getting there. I could also see him going under. But his rush receiving TD anytime, you can see here, it's here. His receptions over 2.5, his receiving yards. I kind of probably like his receiving yards because if he gets those checkdowns. But honestly, guys, I'm not really worried about the running game from either side. Henry and Dobbins, they're both in the mix. Absolutely, they're in the mix. But what I did, I'm going for the shootout script. I'm hoping this game goes yarn. I want to get my money's worth, my coin worth. Okay, so I took both QBs, and then what I would pair it up with is yonder. Disley, 9.5 fantasy score. Where you at, buddy? If he gets a tutty, you can all but cash it because it's hitting. I got it the other day earlier. I think I got it at 8.5, but I think this is good. I think it's hitting. And I like it, okay? I do like me some Will Disley. He's been going off, and I think his receiving yards are also in the mix. His fantasy scores right here. His receiving yards at 44.5. The combo was at 77 earlier. Now it's at 76. I don't know how that moved down one. I guess they're undervaluing Mark Andrews. Maybe it's because Likely's going to get more run tonight. But I think either one of these for Disley is fine. Obviously, lad, this is the best spot for wide receivers in the NFL. Facing the Ravens, they're either 30th or 32, and I'm trying to make it. I don't want to waste time going to Outlier. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But obviously, Quentin Johnston and Ladd are in the mix. But again, you'll get docked for correlation if you were to take Herbert with them. So be careful with that. Talked about Lamar. Also, Lamar's rush attempts are always in play. Lamar's rush plus pass attempts, his rush yards. I want just like I wanted all the Bo Nix. I want all the Lamar tonight. He just got shut down last week. He's got to bounce back, and tonight's the night he can go yarn. Give me all the Lamar tonight. Nope, we're not pausing. Don't even ask. We're going through with it. The 1.5 pass TDs, the fantasy score, possibly the fantasy score. Let's go check out my boy Lamar real quick, market data. Woo-wee! 30.5 pass attempts, pass TDs, rush yards, all of it. I mean, the fantasy score, 21.5, it's crispy. You can get it in the mix. The market is moving. What was good this morning isn't good now, and vice versa. This right here will give you access to all the Lamar you can eat, baby. His pass plus rush yards at 287 could be in the mix. I'm just expecting his pass attempts we now see are getting steam. That's a good one too. It's 31.5. This is going to be bumped. I'm for sure having exposure to this man's pass attempts. I'm sorry, but I am. In fact, I'm going to get it in right now on my phone before they bump it up. Well, I wasn't fast enough because even though this says 30.5, it's at 31 right now. Okay, it just bumped in real time. That's why having that tool is so important. But I think his fantasy score has to be considered, guys. If he rushes it in, if he throws them in, you're getting it all. And Lamar needs to bounce back tonight like air. Lamar, show me MVP Lamar tonight. Or maybe, just maybe, you're banned. You're done. You're banned. You're gone. Just kidding. He's not banned. He's never banned. You don't ban studs when they have bad games. But tonight, it's Lamar and Justin Herbert's show. I can't say it enough. The only downside is the popular dumb money is all over it. But listen, there's only one game, so that's going to happen. We will cook a masterclass in the live stream today and figure this out. Talked about Disley. Talked about Lamar. We talked about Herbert. The other side, if you're looking for someone, you could go with the obvious Flowers, but I think Rashad Bateman has to be considered. Okay? He's just got so much upside. 30, 54, 25, 28, 121 versus Tampa. That was an anomaly, outlier game, if you will. His fantasy score, I think he's okay. I don't know how much exposure I'm going to have to Bateman. Like I said, for football, it's Lamar and Herbert and Disley. Those are my three faves. I don't want to try to play roulette. Is it going to be Flowers, Andrews, Ladd McConkey the donkey, Quentin Johnston, Palmer? I'm not interested in that. So just give me the QBs. And if you think that it's going to be a slow grind game, even if it is a shootout game, you could take the running backs. Henry's always in play. Dobbins is always in play. But the last thing that I'm going to talk about, because this video is going to be like 60 minutes. I apologize. The true YouTube faithful that like it, I'm here for y'all. The longest yard. I talked about this on Sunday, y'all. I told you. Sanders and Sly was my favorite one. It soared over. So did the Will Lutz one. A lot of them soared over, okay? Because they're always in play. The kickers this season they're just banging them from 50 yards out. You got to have exposure to it, man. You can take it specifically, especially on a primetime game. Why not? I don't care. Oh, Kev, Tucker's watched. Big deal. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, ain't washed. And Tucker can hit one. He's got a case of the yips. I don't care. And the other one that I liked too was this one right over here. This field goals combo yards. If Dicker pops a 40-yarder, right? And Tucker pops a 40-yarder, that's 80. Now you'd only need a 31-yard field goal, which could absolutely be what wins this game, and this would cash. You don't believe me that this game could come down to a field goal, comment guy? It's a 2.5-point spread, okay? The Chargers are 2.5-point dogs at home. This game could very well come down to a field goal, which is why I like both of these. And the 50.5-point total on a Monday night. Boys and girls, my brothers and sisters in Christ, they're telling me that this game is going to feed. So if it's going to feed, then I'm sticking with the quarterbacks and I'm sticking with the longest yard because it could come down to it, and I'm sticking with this. And if you got a different take, a different read, God bless you. I hope you cash. You can tail or fade Captain Crush. It's up to you, comment guy. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I get a lot right. I get a lot wrong. I'll show up the next day, hat in hand, willing to give flowers, willing to eat chalk. That's just the type of guy I am, y'all. So you can price shop